Yo, we just hit the Lotto. What's going on, everybody? Hope y'all are feeling amazing. I know it's a couple minutes. I'll let this room kind of gather the crowd, if you will. Do me a favor and start sharing it, but we'll be on in just a few moments. In the meantime, I'm going to play another track for y'all real quick. We are in the building. I know this is an earlier stream than usual, so I hope y'all had your noties on. The deal with perps, you guys, is there's a lot of information that we got to unpack so you guys can fully grasp what's going on. If you guys are brand new to perps, we're going to start from ground zero. If you guys are vetted and you've been trading them for quite some time, awesome. Let's see if we can hone in on our skill set thus far. No, you know what, Sherry? I didn't do Twitch. Maybe I should do Twitch as well. I don't know if it's different against the rules or whatever the case, but you know what? What's the worst that can happen, huh? Let's do it. I'll pop it over to Twitch as well. Let's see if it worked out. Okay, it looks like we live on Twitch too. So we're live on multiple streams, YouTube, Twitch, and X, of course. There are 118 people concurrently watching right now, 120 and counting. If you guys can do me a favor, if you can hit me with some live replies in Twitch so the algos start moving, some live replies on YouTube, man, show my YouTube page some love because it's the only way the algos are going to push YouTube as well and get it in front of more people. And then lastly, of course, if you're watching on X, repost it, quote it, like it, reply, whatever you can do. Look, I'm not here to get famous off this shit. I can give two craps about that. You guys know that. But I do know that there are a ton of people struggling with this new perpetuals that they have on Jupiter. And rather than just sitting back as always and watching people kind of go through it, I try and help out. And when I get a shit of DMs regarding the same questions or the same, addressing the same situation, I like to address it and see if I can shed some light and help people get a better understanding of it all. Under no circumstances am I qualified to give financial advice. So you're not going to hear any financial advice here whatsoever. What you're going to hear is the basics of what they are, how they work. And then you're also going to hear some of the strategies that I use that you can obviously, view and get a better understanding. At the end of the day, hold yourself accountable. That's the biggest thing I want you guys to understand. It takes discipline in this game, but you have to hold yourself accountable. Okay. I'm never going to be there right by your side pressing buy or how long to hold for. I'm never going to be there by your side. So you can't just expect that to be the case, right? You have to determine when you want to enter a trade. You need to determine when you want to exit a trade. It's your choice. It's your device. It's your button pushing, all that fun stuff. So I don't want any praise if you're hitting the lotto, and I don't want any feedback if you suck ass at this. Okay, it's gonna take some time to learn, and I'm gonna be here to help. Just be informative so you know exactly what is taking place, and perhaps shed some light on some of my strategies that can potentially help you see things a little bit more clear as well. But again, whether you're brand new to this, whether you're a veteran, and shit, if you think you're a pro and you got it down pat, feel free to grab a mic as well. I know this is different than normal spaces, obviously, but it's really not that different. So the point of this is, just because you see me up here on camera doesn't mean that you can't grab a mic and join. You can grab a mic and not be on camera. You can grab a mic and be on camera. I mean, the list goes on. The bottom line is you can put yourself in a position to come up here and ask questions if you have questions along the way, of course. What I want you to do, if it's not too much to ask, is DM me on X if you do want a mic. This way, if you have questions in live time, I can answer them a little bit better than trying to go through the chat and keep up with everything. I'm checking my DMs right now. I did send a link out to the Just a Lotto group chat that we're all in, but you guys do type a lot. So let me just send one in there one more time. It is there for you. If you'd like to click on that, you can. And again, you can come backstage and I'll pull you up this way. If you have questions, I can answer them. All right, so we got about a buck 30 in here, not too shabby. Again, I just don't want to get started too soon and have people go, hey, I need some assistance with that. So bear with me for just a moment before we get started. Shout out to Paw, nice to see you in here. LC, of course, nice to see you in here. Gilf, nice to see you. Sherry, pleasure. Versus, nice to see you in here as well. Mucky Muck, my guy, nice to see you in the building. Be More, nice to see you. Absolutely. Yes, they are recorded. Okay, cool. So the chat looks clean for now. We do have Timbo in the building. Let me see what's going on with quick. What's up, Timbo?
I'm just here learning, my boy. I transferred money to Jupiter and everything.
I love it, bro. Let's run it, dog. I love
Trying to
it. Feel
clock in
free.
with you, my boy.
Yeah, and feel free to stop and ask questions at any time I'm going through it, bro. I know a lot of times, sometimes one question from you is a question that anyone else was thinking and didn't have the opportunity to ask. So don't be
For sure.
afraid to stop me at any time if something's not clicking.
For sure. Egon helped me a little bit the other day, but when you started talking about this today, dude, I've been getting more bullish all day. I've been getting pumped, dog. I canceled what I was doing to come pull up.
Oh, I love it, bro. Mad respect and love for you, bro. Always, man. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to perps in general, I want you to think of it as day trading, because even when you're trading for longer durations of time, you're still in a position where things change on the fly, and getting in and out of a position is extremely important. So before we get into the details of how to execute trades and what have you on Jupiter, what I want you guys to understand is the basic fundamentals of day trading. Again, this is not financial advice. This is, you can read it in books, you can research it online. It's all virtually the same. Um, it comes down to a few things, okay? The first thing, the very first thing is risk management. Okay. And I want to be extremely clear with this. I have seen people take their conviction plays and disintegrate their bags chasing coins that come out, and now even in some cases trying to figure out the perp game. I don't care if your conviction's not in Lotto. Whatever it is that you are invested in, or you hold a certain coin, you should never, if you believe in that project or that particular stock, for example, you should not reduce your positions to chase these things. You're going to put way too much pressure on yourself. And more times than not, it just doesn't work out. So, whatever you do, make sure that you're utilizing resources that you're not pulling from somewhere else that you desire to have them in. Okay. This is the same thing with bills, with your rent or your mortgage or your car payment or your food money. For the love of God, you'll never be able to trade successfully if that money you're trading with is detrimental to your household. It'll put way too much pressure on you, and you'll make decisions based on emotions versus what you're actually seeing. Okay, so that's the first rule of thumb, you guys. Risk management, it starts prior to managing the amount you have set aside for trading. It starts where you're at financially is different than any other person. I don't know what bills you have. I don't know how much your overhead is. I don't know how much your income is. I know nothing. So I would never be able to tell you what the perfect dollar amount is. So when you guys DM me, like, what's a good way to start? The answer is simple. Whatever you're willing to throw away, and it will not affect your happy meter. It won't affect your outcome. It won't alter your well being financially. That's literally the amount you start with. It's very simple. If you can't take $100 and turn that into 1,000, what on God's green earth makes you think you can take 1,000 and turn it into 10,000, or 10,000 into 100,000? Okay, it's relative to the percentage of gains. So please do not, just because you might have it like that, get overzealous with these positions. Okay, and I'll get in depth with that when we discuss position sizing. As of right now, the focal point is risk management. Step one, only trade with money you can afford to lose, period. Okay. Now, the second side of risk management is all about whatever that amount is: 25 bucks, $100, $500, whatever that amount is. I want you to separate this into a new wallet, and I want you to only trade with those resources. Nothing more, nothing less. Just whatever you start with is the way you're going to gauge your process. Everybody learns at a different pace. Okay. Now, with risk management, it coincides with your plan. So I'm going to give you an example. If I think something's going in one direction or the other, let's say I think it's going to go long and I put money into going long and it doesn't do that, it doesn't mean I could just keep adding to that same position, hoping for it to finally go long, unless that was my plan. Okay. And we're going to talk about, again, position size. We're going to talk about starting a position and easing into a position, or decreasing a position as it goes up or down, right? We're going to talk about all of this. But again, you have to have a plan, a course of action. If this happens, then I plan on doing this. If that happens, I plan on doing this. And that's where discipline comes in. You got to stick to it. Okay. You cannot go into this whimsical with a hunch or intuition and a vibe. No, you have to have a strategy, an actual plan. Okay. So with risk management, you start off with, what can I afford to lose while I'm learning that won't affect me? Okay. From risk management, you're going to go into the art of what you're doing, the strategy. Okay. Now, what I want to start off with so you guys can keep up is, where are you trading these perps? I personally am using Jupiter, of course. So you can go to jupe.ag. That's J like John, U like umbrella, P like Peter, dot, A like Alabama, G like Georgia. Jupe.ag. Now, I personally go to my Phantom wallet and I go to the browser on my Phantom wallet and I type in jupe.ag and Jupiter pulls right up. And from there, I connect my specific wallet I use for perps. And from there, once I connect that wallet, I go to where it says perps, which stands for perpetuals. Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, you can do perpetuals on all three of them. Now, I stick with the Solana chain. Why? I'm watching Lotto like a hawk. So I know the Solana movements are fairly easy for me to see because I'm watching the way my price action moves every day on Lotto, right? So I stick to one I know. When I'm when I'm on Phantom and I connect my wallet and I go to perps, it's already on Solana for me. Now, a perpetual, what you're stating when you're going long or short is you believe that the direction, the price action itself, you believe the direction is headed one of two ways. If you're going long, you think the price of Solana is going to go up. If you're going short, you think the price of Solana is going down. It's just that simple. That's what perps are. Okay? You are essentially betting on the direction of where you think it's headed. Now, understand how I use the word betting. That's what you're doing because you don't have any control of the price action itself. You do not dictate if it goes up or down. I don't predict in this industry. I react. And there's a big difference of predicting and reacting. I see something take place. I have probabilities in my mind that I believe this is why it's going to go up. And I act on why I believe it's going up. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's okay. If I'm correct, even better. But a trade that's green versus red is not a good versus bad trade. A good trade is that you executed your plan, period. And if you've done this and you can start seeing stats on yourself, and this is when I do a good trade, and this usually works when I do this, but this doesn't work very well, you'll start to find what works for you. And that will give you a high probability of success for that type of trade. And then you'll patiently wait for that setup to present itself so that you can put your money in when you know that's the highest probability. And yes, I will go through my strategies 100% like an open book with all of you. So we know where to go now, right? Jupe.ag. We know we can do it through our Phantom browser, so we can easily connect our wallet, no problem. We know the direction of long versus short, but that's not where it ends. Once you decide what direction you believe it's going to go into, you then have an opportunity to maneuver or move the leverage itself. Now, a lot of people don't understand this portion of it. Sometimes they think that if they get liquidated, they're going to lose that much and they don't have that much and that scares them. No, 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 no. It's very simple. Whatever amount you decide to trade, that is the maximum amount you can lose. So we're going to do for easy math purposes, one Solana. If you put one Solana in there, and that's what you are trading with, and your leverage is set to 1x, it's very simple. If Solana goes up and you're in a long, and it goes up $1, and you have one Solana with 1-to-1 leverage, you're making $1. If Solana goes up $5 and you have one Solana with one leverage, you're making $5, right? However, you can lose that Solana. How? Every time you move this leverage, you're going to see a liquidation price point. Okay? So let's give you an example. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, Solana's at $134. Let's say you believe it's going to go up. You put one Solana and you keep your leverage at one. You're going to see a liquidation price that might say 122. That means if Solana hits 122, they're taking that entire Solana from you. However, if it never hits that, your trade is always going to be open until you decide when to close it. Now, if I think I want more leverage, no problem. I can move the leverage to 20, 30, 40, all the way up to 100. And it's correct. If I put one Solana in there and my leverage is at 100 and the price goes up by $1, it's like I have 100 Solana coins in it. I'm going to make $100. If Solana goes up $5 and I have 100 leverage on my one Solana, then I'm going to make $500, right? Because however much that leverage is multiplying what my position is. A 20x on one Solana means I'm trading with 20 Solana coins. Price goes up $1, I made 20 bucks. If I'm at 50x and I'm trading one Solana, it's as if I have 50 Solana. Price goes up $2, I make 100 bucks. However, the higher your leverage is, the closer it is for your liquidation. So let's give you an example. If Solana is at $134 and I have one Solana that I'm wagering and I put it at 100x, my liquidation is going to be like $133.50. Meaning, if Solana even comes down by 50 cents, they're taking that entire Solana from me, right? So the risk is very high with high leverage. And that's because the reward is very high. The higher your risk, the higher the reward. The lower the risk, the lower the leverage, the lower the reward. So that's the simple concept of it. Okay? I'm going to go on this station. I'm going to show you a screen. You won't see me, but you'll see the screen. And I'm going to show you what I mean when I talk about moving this particular token, the leverage, when it comes to trading perps. Okay? That way you guys can also get a visual on it as well. Uh, bu- 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 So short means you think it's going lower, long means you think it's going higher. Correct. That is correct. So if you 10x, that's $10 or 10 Solana. Okay, so remember, and I'm going to show you, if I put one Solana in and I'm on 10x, I'm trading essentially with 10 Solana. Even though I can only lose one Solana, it's basically like holding 10 Solana. So if it goes up $1, that means I would make $10 worth of profit, because if I had 10 Solana and the price went up $1, I'd make $1 off all 10. That means I make 10 bucks, right? So the price that moves in your favor is based on your multiplier. If I'm on a 10x and I only have one Solana in there, then it's technically trading with 10 Solana for me, and every dollar up is $10. It goes up 10 bucks, 100 bucks, right? It's always going to multiply. Your leverage is multiplying your position. So if I only put in a point 1 Solana and I'm on 10x, essentially I'm trading one Solana. So if it goes up $1, I only make $1, right? Gotcha. Okay, cool. I see you got me. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna go to this station so I can show you the screen and give you guys a little bit of insight on a visual effect as well now. Check, check, check. 1, 2. Okay, here I am. Okay, so this is jupe.ag for perps. Okay, guys. So it's very, very simple. We'll go to we'll stay on this hourly chart for now. Okay, so as you can see, when you go to Jupe AG, it don't matter if you're on a PC, your phone, whatever, you can always connect your wallet. Once you connect your wallet, it's going to ask you if you want to connect it to Phantom or whatever wallet you have, obviously. Mine is Phantom. But regardless, this is where I'm telling you about long, short, and the difference of leverage. So as you can see, this is a long position. It's green, so it's easy to identify, versus a short position, which it's red. If I'm in a long position, and let's just say, again, for easy math purposes, let's just put in 1 Solana here. This 1 Solana that I'm putting in at 100x leverage is essentially me trading with 100 Solana. Right now, the price is $134.87. So if it were to go to $135.87, I would obviously make $100. It went up $1 and I'm at 100 leverage. Now, with 100 leverage, as you can see, they're taking this Solana away from me. I just highlighted it here on the bottom right. If we go down to $133.86, again, that's less than $1 away. So it's extremely risky when I'm at 100x. Yeah, the reward's crazy. If it goes up $5, I go up $500. So cool, right? But it's very easy to get that Solana taken if it goes against me, right? Now, if you notice, I go to a lower leverage. Let's go 10x to make it easy math purposes. Again, this 1 Solana would essentially be 10 Solana. At 134.84, if it goes to 135.84, it goes up $1. I would technically make $10. But here's the difference. Do you see my liquidation now? It's only $121.45. That means not right here am I getting liquidated, but I wouldn't get liquidated on this position until the price went all the way down to right around here. That's how far it would have to drop. Okay, that's literally almost a little over a $13 drop. So of course, I don't get much in rewards if it goes up a little bit, but I would have a lot of wiggle room, meaning it's less risky for me to get liquidated, obviously. Does that make sense? Thank you, Ghost, for sharing your knowledge with us. You're welcome. I should be taking notes. Check, check, 1, 2. I need to know if you guys
I can
hear me.
hear you.
Lost power at the crib. Wow, I lost power at the crib. So there's that. I got cell phone data, so I'm good. Yes. So I hope you guys were able to see that, but that's how leverage works. The higher the leverage, the closer you are to being liquidated. But of course, the bigger the reward. The lower the leverage, the farther you are away from getting liquidated. Okay. So I hope that makes a lot of sense for you guys in regards to how the leverage works and how the math is when it comes down to this type of play. Okay. It is extremely simple when you just look at it and you play with it. and you figure out what leverage you're looking for. Now, one thing I will say while we're on the subject of leverage, it's not like typical leverage that you hear. In other words, it's not like, oh, I put my leverage at 10x and now I have to pay them back 10 Sol, even though I only put a Solana in there. No, 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 no. That is a fixed loss. That's the maximum that you could lose, is what you're putting in that actual trading portion. So it doesn't matter if you're at 0, 50, 100, whatever your leverage is irrelevant in regards to how much you could potentially lose on a trade. It is a fixed amount. So that one Solana is the most you would be able to lose if you get liquidated. Unlike most of the time when you're doing leverage, you're going to end up owing money at the end of it all. And you got to come up with those resources or you're in some trouble, right? So it is a lot more similar to options if you've ever traded options in the stock market. Okay. The expiration date would essentially liquidate your options unless you wanted to execute or sell them before that expiration date. Whereas perpetuals, it's based on the price action on how you would get liquidated versus the time. There are no time constraints with any given move that you're doing. It does get the fees that are attached are very minimal, but of course, the longer you hold the position, the more you'll pay in fees. But I'll tell you right now, it's absolutely unnoticeable for me, at least. I've held positions for days, for weeks, and it's very minimal as far as the fee goes for holding a position for a longer duration of time. So don't get it misconstrued. You won't have to actually add more money and pay them higher amounts based on the leverage you decided to roll with, okay? I hope that that makes sense for everybody. No, no charge is gonna work, babe. There's no power. Let's see if it comes back up here on my end. That's wild. Yeah, I don't have power. Okay, so that's number one. Okay, that's the way you can actually trade perps. That is the way the perps work. Okay, and now it comes down to your actual strategy as to why you think you're going long versus why you want to go short. Okay. If you think the price is going in a direction and that's why you're going long, awesome. Kudos to you. But you still should understand what you're seeing. Okay. There are chart patterns, head and shoulders, I'm sure you guys have heard of. Um, there's bull flags, there's bear flags, there's inverse head and shoulders, there's an abundance of them, okay? And it is extremely important, whether you're new to the game or not, to just go on YouTube and look up some of the typical trading patterns because it does align when it comes to perpetuals a lot more than like a meme coin, if you will. So you want to get used to some of these patterns. Cup and handle was just formed on the hourly, and that I had noticed yesterday, I think it was, or perhaps even the day before yesterday. And it came to fruition where you have this U shape for the cup, and then it goes pretty much the top of the left part of the cup where it starts when the price action goes down and kind of curls back and gets to the same price level as it was before it started going down. And then you get that little bit of a drawback, a pullback for what they consider the handle. That's usually a bullish sign for the next leg up, for it to start to shoot up again. And it Solana did just that. It did exactly that. It shot back up. Then it created a bull flag, which was also bullish, right? A bull flag is when you have a pretty tall pole and then you have a little bit of consolidation at the top of that pole. Usually it goes the next leg up. Now, you notice I'm saying usually because obviously anything can change. News can come out. The, you know, the political environment that we're in right now from the geopolitics are crazy right now. So there could be bearish news or bullish news at any given moment that would obviously squander off whatever charting you just did. But at least you want to put yourself in a position to at least be able to identify a lot of these things that you see. Okay. So one thing I would say is for sure go on YouTube tonight, or even Google a list of bullish patterns and a list of bearish patterns. And when I was new, I printed them out. I wanted all of them to be next to me. And I'd like to, look at my sheet of paper and look at the chart and see if there's any one that I could identify. What an uptrend is versus a downtrend, what a wedge is, a wedge breakout, a break over resistance, and that was, resistance, and they flip it to support and comes back and holds it. Like all of these things, they hold true to form. They give you better probability. The more things you can give yourself, the better as far as probability goes. Because remember, that's what you're doing. A good trader puts the same amount of money into his probabilities of high probability trading and extracts resources when those opportunities strike. They have losing trades, they have winning trades, they have streaks of a lot of winning trades, they even have streaks of sometimes a couple bad trades in a row. But overall, they're net positive because of their risk management and their position size. And so this is the next thing we'll go over, since obviously I don't have a way to show you anything right this moment until this power comes back up. But position size is huge. You guys hear me say this all the time. Consistency is the foundation of success. I say that shit all the time. And it holds true for me in every aspect of life. If I want to be good, I got to work my ass off until I become good. I can't just expect to be good right off the bat. And so when it comes to position sizing, I think it's extremely important, especially while you're learning. Nothing's tripped on my entire box. So it's crazy. So we really power on neighborhood. You guys power too? Yeah, okay, cool. I just want to make sure it wasn't just me. Appreciate you, bro. Stop. Come on. So what it comes down to, it's everybody, by the way. What it comes down to is for when you're learning to do this, position is key. What happens is sometimes we have like the perfect setup as a trader, like, oh my God, this is it. This is my favorite side. And we go super heavy. And all of a sudden we're emotional and we cut it because we're scared. And then right after all, we should have just held it longer. Or it's our favorite thing in the world. So we go super heavy and then all of a sudden it just doesn't work out for us. And now you just took a fat loss and it wipes out 10 wins. So one thing I noticed about myself is I would have little to medium wins all day, every day. Like this is so easy. And then one loss would wipe out like a week's worth of work. So I got very disciplined and said, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm going to do the same position size every time, no matter what. And when I made that decision, the compounding just started taking over. Okay. So when we talk about position sizing, there's so many traders that could have been the best trader ever, but they ran out of money before they can see it through. So my entire philosophy is I need money for the next trade. If I don't have money for the next trade, I'm dead in the water, aren't I? So I used to take what's called a 2020 vision approach. Everybody's heard of 2020 vision. 2020's vision for me was really easy to remember and comprehend. And what I would do is I was willing to take 20% of my actual trading accounts for every trade that I did. However, I wasn't willing to lose 100% of it. I was only willing to lose 20% of that specific position. So let's go through some math real quick to make it easy on you. If I have $1,000 in my trading account, my 2020 vision was simple. $200 is what I would put on the line in any given trade. Now, again, I wasn't willing to lose the entire $200. I was only willing to lose 20% of that, which is, of course, 40 bucks. So 2020 vision for me gave me an opportunity to take losses in the amount of $40 maximum with the $1,000 account. And my wins obviously could be in abundance. It could be obviously more than that, right? That was enabling me to compound my account. Now, with perps, it's a little bit different. I don't want to just keep exiting my position when it goes against me right away. So, what I do in perps is I take what that 2020 would be. In this case, if it's $1,000 account, that's 40 bucks. And that's what I put in there to trade. I'm willing to lose the entire $40, for example, on that specific trade if I get liquidated, right? And that would give me plenty of trades while I'm learning, right? Again, this is for easy math purposes. If you have one Solana coin, what's 20% of that? A point two. If you have a point two and you're only willing to lose 20% of that point two, what is the point two is a 0.05. Now, I think you have to have a point one, I think might be the lowest amount you can trade with. So that's the lowest amount, then that's what you trade with. You go to a point one, and that's your risk. You're willing to, you'll get 10 trades out of that one Solana, and that's what you have to worry about trying to survive off of. The longer you last, the better you become, the more things are clear to see, and you'll start to see that one Solana turns into a 1.5 Solana. Now all of a sudden you got 1.8 Solana. Next thing you know, you're at 2.2 Solana. That's the way this whole thing is mapped out for you to do. It's to compound the gains. You don't have to hit home runs. You don't have to be a fucking predictor or a fortune teller. No. You're looking at the chart. You can identify it looks bullish or it looks bearish based upon certain patterns. And then you're able to react the moment you see that pattern develop. And then you're able to, of course, start taking your profits or get liquidated, right? Now, what I wanted to show you guys until the power went out was that once you have an active position, you are actually able to set a take profit and a stop loss right away. And I strongly advise that if you're starting to play with these and you've never done so before, that you should 100% start as small as possible. And you should always have take profit and a stop loss set up no matter what. This way, if God forbid you get called into work, or you have a late night trade you're doing and you fall asleep, or you just so happen to forget, you're not just getting liquidated every single time. A take profit is where you would put the price of where the Solana coin would hit in order for you to close your entire position out. So if Solana's at 134 and I put my take profit at 135.90, the second it hits 134.90, that's it. My position gets closed and I get the profit. Now, the best part about the take profit in this case is when you put that take profit in, it'll show you how much profit you'll actually get and the percentage of what you're actually making on that trade. On the stop loss portion of it, when you set a stop loss, it has to be above whatever your liquidation would be, of course. You can't put a stop loss below the liquidation, obviously, because it would get liquidated prior. So it won't let you set a stop loss unless it makes sense in comparison to the liquidation. So I'm going long, and the price is liquidation is 132, then that would mean my stop loss would have to be above 132 to make sense. If I'm going short and my stop loss is above me where resistance is, let's say 137, then I'd have to put a stop loss below the 137 in order for it to get me out of the trade before getting liquidated entirely. Okay. That's the way this specific one works. You can make multiple ones at once, correct? What are you asking about multiple ones? Are you suggesting, help me out with that one, Dree. You're asking if you can make multiple ones at once, as in wallets, as in trades. I also see that you guys are saying I sound like a robot from time to time. Hey, Motown, do me a favor. Can you come on real quick and just tell me what, if you can hear pretty decent or what?
I can hear you. Every once in a while, you do kind of sound like a robot, but it's not that bad. You don't have power. You're on cell service, so
Yeah, you know what? And listen, I have things I have to accomplish tonight. We have a spring exhibition, I guess, with school, which is another reason why I wanted to jump on here earlier today and kind of go through as a group all of these perps that we want to, that everyone keeps hearing and experimenting with. My whole goal is to try and protect you guys from losing money, because losing your resources is fucking awful, and I don't want to see people fail or lose, especially when they're people I love and care for. I want you guys to be able to protect yourselves and not go, oh my god, I'm missing out, everybody's making money on perps, I'm going to try it, and then you just start disintegrating your resources. It is not as easy as everyone makes it sound. However, it is extremely easy once you understand your strategy that works for you, and I will 100% pick up where I left off. It most likely it'll be tomorrow before poker. We'll jump on and we'll discuss perps. But I'll try and do this regularly for you guys, at least like a half hour or so per day. I'll give you an actual, my analysis of what I see is going on with Solana itself, what kind of levels that I'm charting and why those levels are how they're set in stone for me, and then also why I react in specific ways based on those levels. I will explore, or I will actually I'll go through every single aspect of it and answer all of your questions. I want you guys to know this much. There's no rush to trading perps, guys. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. If you're lost in the sauce, don't fucking tamper with it yet. Just be patient, okay? We have to let our learning curve, some people learn fast, some people take a lot longer to learn. We got to respect that about ourselves, and we got to take our time when you're trying to learn this before you just dive in going willy-nilly. Okay? Don't be fooled by all these little screenshots you see of people profiting off perps. I swear on my life, they don't show you when they lose. They just don't do that. They only show you their green. It's disgusting. It bothers me because I know there's only a few people that I can sincerely say are really killing the game with perps. The Tiggies, the Parodies, the Hinches, I see their work, bro. But there's people out there that'll post shit and they don't have anything to show for it. Okay, so I don't want you guys feeling like you're missing out and you got to make something happen right away. Take your time with this, okay? I promise I will make sure that it's at least understandable and all of your questions are answered in a timely manner before you start dabbling with this shit and losing the hard earned money of yours. There is absolutely no rush. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's take our time with this and let's put ourselves in a really good position to capitalize on the way these perpetuals move. In the meantime, I appreciate you guys. For the 340 people that are concurrently watching right at this very moment, if you've learned anything from this at all, or you think it'll be helpful, or you know people that are also interested in perpetuals, please do me a favor, repost it, quote, hit it with a reply. Share the word. I want to make sure that anybody that needs help knows that we're doing this for them. And again, this is always going to be free on my end. I'm not going to charge you guys anything. I'm just going to give you guys everything I got in high hopes that it'll help you guys moving forward. I hope you guys enjoy your evening. There will not be a normal stream tonight because, again, I'll be at the spring exhibition tonight. I don't even know how long it'll last. If it's not too late of a night, maybe we'll have a surprise and we'll jump on later this evening. If worst comes to worst, remember tomorrow's Friday. We do have our poker tournament at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll make a post in the normal AM time like always. You'll be able to join the game and have a good time with us. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Egon, much love. Nice to see you. I know you just got in here, man. I hope you enjoy your
Thank you.
evening.
You too. And if anybody needs a heads up on how to lose on perps, I only just got really into the swing of things recently. I'll show you my green, my red, everything. You'll get the hang of it.
Do that part. Motown, I appreciate you jumping up here as well, man. I'm sorry I lost power, man. I had a good 30, 40 minutes or so left in me to get you guys a little bit further ahead. But hey, when it happens, it happens. So we'll be back on either later this evening or tomorrow. Worst comes to worst. And Motown, thank you for jumping up as well. I appreciate you, bro.
Hell yeah, man. This is gonna
I'll
be
talk.
good, I think.
I love it, bro. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye bye.